Welcome into Jags A.M. I'm Kainani Stevens. Brian Sexton and John Ogier are with me today. It's Wednesday. We've had a couple of days to relax and chill out since that game on Sunday. So while we went over a lot of issues on Monday, we're going to try to assess where things are at today and look forward to Monday Night Football. Big thing number one, Doug isn't down. As much as we saw him down after the game on Sunday, bounced back on Monday. We heard from him saying all the right things as usual. Brian, you've been around a lot of coaches during your day. What is his mentality telling you?
Well, he understands there's a lot of football left to be played. There's 15 games left on the schedule, and if you want to pull the ripcord here and fire and brimstone, not that there's not a place to light guys up a little bit, but you need to be steady, right? I mean, John, you worked with Tony Dungy, who was the most level-headed, steady guy. When it was time to go up or to go down, players would listen to you because you weren't going up and down every week. So for Doug to come in and to be steady, which I thought he was in his press availability yesterday, is a really important sign that they're circling the wagons. You know, they're putting pieces in place to have a productive week, to go about fixing things and not go about breaking things.
Well, I think he said exactly what he should say, and what's the truth is that they've lost 2 games on the last play of each game. He didn't say this, but both teams are good teams. You clearly can beat these teams. Had he stood on Monday and knocked the podium over and thrown things at the media, what good would it have done? You're not going to win games by behaving differently than he did. His issue is all they can do right now as a coaching staff is say, look, make the plays at the key moments. They have to go do that. They can do it, but they haven't done it since last November.
Sure, I think that's part of what makes it so frustrating, right? A lot of it's self-inflicted, and at this point, you just got to go out and do it better. So our second big thing today is going to be Trevor turning point. While the coach and the coaching staff, you want to remain level throughout the season. Saw a little bit of fire out of Trevor. John, we talked about this earlier in the week, but is this going to be a turning point for Trevor? Is this what he needed to kind of get him to that point where it's like, hey, we need to be accountable from everybody, not just him?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know was the answer to your question, will this be a turning point? Can this be? Must it be? Absolutely. I mean, to me, when I was listening to Trevor Lawrence after the game Sunday, I said, oh, this is a kid who's not a kid anymore. He's grown up. It's his team. He's had it with the discombobulation. He's had it with the play clock being at 1 when he snaps it. He knows this has to look different and better. He knows it's his team. He knows it's his rear end on the line, his reputation at stake. You judge quarterback. I think he came off the field that day into the locker room saying, you know what, if not now, when? This is mine. Now, he has to play better to back all that up. Yeah. But yes, I think this is a watershed moment for Trevor. How it plays out, I am fascinated to watch this week.
I feel comfortable in saying that if the Jaguars get this thing turned around, right? And we all know the numbers about teams that start 0-2. You know, their probability of making the playoffs is less than 10%. But I'll hold fast to the team that I saw in training camp in the preseason and my belief that this roster is worthy of being a postseason contender. So I think if they do that, if they're able to be in the mix from Thanksgiving until Christmas and be talking about if this, then that, right? To be in the playoff scenario, we'll look back at this week and Sunday postgame as being the turning point, the moment when things started to change.
You know that phrase, Kai, I'm tired of being sick and tired?
Yes.
I think Trevor's tired of being sick and tired.
I'm tired of us all being sick
Welcome
and tired.
Welcome to the club.
So this is good. Our final thing today is going to be bright spots. We're all going to do our best and be positive because we are in week 3, so let's do this. What was a bright spot from the game, Brian? What is one good thing you took out of game 2?
Well, all the young guys that you put into situations. I mean, Brenton Strange was told an hour before the game began that he was going to be the starting tight end, which meant that he was going to have to be an A-list option. He was going to have to make plays for his quarterback, and he did that. Montaric Brown had more time, John. He had a whole week to work with Chris Richard, and what a great job they did of getting him ready to play. He played a really good football game. Perfect? No. We've talked about young players stepping up and making plays. The bright spot to me is that there are guys that you can maneuver around. How about Trey Prince? Got into the lineup, made a play. There are guys that you can put in in scenarios and situations that allow you to mix things up. I don't want to say this is a deep team, they're 0-2, but there's some depth to this team which will allow the coaches to go to work, and I like that.
Yeah, I'm a broken record. My brightest spot was Trevor after the game, but I'll go a different direction. Brian Thomas Jr. obviously is a major bright spot. If you can get this thing going around him, it feels like you've got a guy who can be an above the X's and O's player. And frankly, on this team, there's still not enough of those. There's good players, but I don't know that there's game winners, game wreckers everywhere. He looks like he might be that. It's not vogue this week to say the offensive line because there were struggles in the running. I mean, in the passing game. But this team's running okay at times. It feels like there's something there. Like when they run, you're not saying, "Oh no, this is not going to be good." So that's a piece to build on. But I'm kind of grasping right now.
We are a little bit grasping. We're going to go over some more of that, what we are looking forward to this week for Monday Night Football. Stay with us as we look around the AFC South, see what else is going on in the division.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit dfhsalesevent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's dfhsalesevent.com.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval! Luray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
Check it out, the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence and camera control for easy access. At Verizon, you can get it when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands.
Any?
Any.
Even if it's 4 years old?
Yeah.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk?
Yep.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk, then a scooter runs it over, so now it's not just old and cracked, but shattered?
With Verizon, the answer is always yes. New and existing customers can trade in any phone from one of our top brands in any condition for the new iPhone 16 Pro with Unlimited Ultimate. Trade-in terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why they've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly. Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
For 11 years, Dreamfinders Homes have been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory, and go Jags. Also, the game this week brought to you by Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Welcome back into Jags A.M. today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the NFL as a whole, but also around the AFC South, because obviously the Texans are 2-0, but everybody else is 0-2. So, and there's a lot of parity around the league as a whole. The Chiefs are obviously still a very good football team, but everybody else is kind of up for debate at this point. So let's talk a little bit about the Titans and the Jets. All the teams that we're talking about today are opponents for the Jags coming up in this season. We're going to play the Jets, obviously play the Titans twice as well. The Titans kind of falling apart a little bit at the end of that game. Will Levis turning the football over, his coach not too pleased with that effort there. It's kind of similar to the end of the Jags game against the Browns, but just seeing that as well. Calvin Ridley had 2 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown, but that's an opponent we're going to play twice. It's one of those, when you look at if we can get through this section of the schedule, there are winnable games coming up.
The Titans are a team that's in such transition. I mean, they had played bully ball, caveman style football. Their identity was wrapped up in Derrick Henry. They still have a very good lineup of players on defense led by Jeffrey Simmons there. But they bring in Brian Callahan, who is an offensive mind, and they're trying to play modern style football. I don't think they have the personnel for it at this point in time.
Yeah, they're a young team in transition, and what you sort of wish with that kind of a team is you wish you played them in September, because that's usually when they haven't figured anything out yet. The danger of a team like Tennessee, first-year coach with some ability, is usually in the NFL, somewhere in those last 3 months, you hit a little bit of a surge where all of a sudden players get it a little bit. They decide they like playing for this coach. They decide they want to be there the next year, so they have a little bit of a surge. You hope that you don't draw them when they're sort of feeling good about themselves. Think about like the Gus Bradley year, the first year of Gus, when this was not a good team, and yet for that 3 or 4 weeks, they were a dangerous team because they believed in it. They were playing some teams with injuries. So that's where you hope, if the Titans are going to be a find themselves team all year, you want to get them at points where they're not feeling good about themselves. And they're not, and clearly right now, it seems like such a point.
Not finding themselves going up against the Jaguars. That would not be great. Yeah. Let's look elsewhere. The Colts, who we thought had a decent roster, obviously everything goes through Anthony Richards, goes up against the Packers. Packers playing without Jordan Love. They ran the ball, I think, 53 times, something like that. Josh Jacobs had 32 carries in that game. And obviously we knew Green Bay was a good team going into this, but just being able to adapt to what they're given and still win a football game has been most impressive to me.
It shows you the Packers are good. A good team with a little bit of adversity, playing at home early in the year, they just go figure out a way. And I kind of think back, boy, I'm aging myself. I kind of think back to the Jonathan Quinn game.
Oh, yeah.
Right, where, they can't win this game. They're down in their third quarter. No, not Jonathan Quinn, Steve Matthews.
You're talking about 97, against the Giants.
Well, and came out, quarterback was hurt, Kai, and then all of a sudden they figured out a way to win the game because they're the better team in that situation. I think that's what happened in Green Bay. This is a team that, once they get their quarterback back, will be a top 7, top 8 team. And the Colts, with Richardson, until he proves otherwise, you're a big play, inconsistent team until he shows you that he's ready not to be that.
I will say, from what I saw of that game, losing DeForest Buckner, who left with a pretty severe ankle sprain, really gutted the middle of that Colts defense and allowed the Packers to just keep hammering it away. But when you've got a guy like Jonathan Taylor, and when you've got guys on defense, and they love this Latu, the kid that comes from UCLA, if they can get DeForest Buckner back in the middle of their defense, again, it's all going to go through Anthony Richardson. Is he going to be ready to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball? I get it. Everyone is dazzled by that incredible throw he made against the Texans on opening day, but that's so far out of the line of what's normal for a quarterback. He's got to develop into the guy who can stand there and deliver the ball, because that's the way the game is played these days.
Yeah, you have to be a series-to-series player in this league, not just a highlight player.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Richardson has the capability of being a series-to-series guy. Doesn't feel like at this stage of his career he's there yet.
We'll see in person in Week 5 when the Colts come to town. Texans, obviously, they're 2-0, as good as we've seen them be. Against the Bears as well, which is a good defense. So obviously the Texans we're trying to win a game, so we're not necessarily comparing anything to the Texans right now, but both of those opponents coming up in the near future, the Texans and the Bears in London. So you don't want to look too far ahead, but it is something to keep your eye on.
I think that D'Amico Ryans really did an incredible job last year of getting that team rallied around that quarterback. And this year the quarterback has taken a step forward and is the personality of that team. And they trust him. He makes good throws, on target, on time. He understands what they're asking him to do, and he understands the guys that he's got to work with. They are a very dangerous team.
Look, I said all off season, I thought the Jaguars could play with the Texans. I still think they can, but they're getting away from you. I mean, it's early. There's a mile to go in the season. Miles, they're 2-0 and you're 0-2. So right now, the hope for the Jags, they need to win Monday, and hope that they can pull these guys back a little bit in week 4, right, and make sure that it still feels close. I watched the Texans game the other night. They looked good. They didn't look great, but they're the kind of not great right now that's winning early, so that when they hit their great streak, which I think they're capable of, then all of a sudden they get to 8-3, right? So the Jaguars need to not let this team get away, and I don't know the Jaguars are playing well enough right now to prevent that.
I've heard it said, and it's true, well, you're in second place in the division, but you're 0-2 in the AFC, right? You can't look at it that way. You've got to win these AFC games, because if you can't catch the Texans, you're looking at a wild card spot. Right now, there's not a wild card team in the AFC South.
Well, think about last year. The Texans felt sort of. It's always the danger of trying to judge the season in September. But when they came here, they felt sort of out of it, and then they beat the supposed division favorite, and all of a sudden
they run their heels all year long.
That felt tight all year. No matter what happens on Monday, at this point, starting off 0-2, that one feels like a have to give the Jaguars that feeling the rest of the year, right? I mean,
to give them life as they
we're way ahead of
ourselves.
Get the win Monday, and then talk about more. But you asked me to talk about the South, guys, so that's on you.
I'm so sorry. You have to look ahead, not too far ahead, just a little bit. Keep an eye on things. Stay with us here. We're going to do a little this or that after the break as we look about what changes we would like to see in Week 3.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market, because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year 1 in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year 1 and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit dfhsalesevent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's dfhsalesevent.com.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Surf Pro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. Surf Pro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why they've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
Listen up. Just like football, timing is everything. Only water your lawn when necessary. And always check the weather before turning on those sprinklers.
Save water, save money, and score big. It's a win-win.
Whether you're on the field or at home, we're all on the same team. Florida's water. It's worth saving. This message brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Visit sjrwmd.com for more information.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval. Luray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
Jags A.M. brought to you by Fields Auto, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com.
This or that. This or that.
Do a little this or that for you today. We're going to look ahead. We've recommended some changes. We've looked at the film where things that we thought maybe could get tweaked a little bit going forward. Obviously, everyone is talking about the offensive line. Talked about it all last year, talked about it in the offseason, and we're talking about it again to start this season. So things didn't go as planned in week 2, and now it is a matter of when it comes to the offensive line, do you change the players that you have on the offensive line with what you have on this roster, or do you change the tactics of what you're trying to do right now? We talked about how they've messed with the run game a little bit, dealing with that. Phil Rauscher, Doug Peterson, how they trying to double team, trying to pull, trying to do different things to cover up some of the issues that they've had. Doesn't seem to be working right now. So do you stay the course, Brian, or do you put different players in there and try something else?
You know, at this point of the season, generally teams don't have the luxury of being able to make multiple changes on their offensive line, but I think the Jaguars do. You have Walker Little, who you thought might be a starter at this point in his career, and you have Cooper Hodges, who, had he stayed healthy and been active or even practiced last year, he'd be the starter now, your right guard. If I'm in a meeting, I'm raising my hand saying, hey, coach, the left tackle and the right guard have not played well the first 2 weeks out. Let's make a change. I would make a change. I don't want to put it all on those two guys, but when I watch the offensive line struggle, it's 74 and 68, and I would have that conversation. I'd also ask that guy right there, hey, if we do this, are you okay with it? Do you believe in these two guys that we're talking about putting in? Here's why we want to put them in. I would have that conversation.
Yeah, I think it has to be considered. So much of what's been going on with the offensive line, my understanding is there's been some missed assignments. It's tough to just hang it on Cam Robinson, Sheriff, whoever you're hanging on. But I do think there are some glaring Katie bar the door moments when in the passing game that make you feel like you want to do something. Now, I get if they don't, because week 2, you've spent the off season trying to build continuity, trying to get this group ready. I can understand if they don't immediately go away after week 2, Brian, but I would not be surprised if it's being considered. I
could stick with 74, playing Cam at left tackle. But man, I give credit to Sheriff. He played all last season with the foot and the ankle. He's a tough guy. Nothing against him, but when I watch the running game, my first thought is 68 going to be able to? Is he going to be able to make that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's what they're asking him to do. Maybe there's some combo blocks in there. It's too easy to go, well, got to get him out of the lineup. But I got Cooper Hodges, who's young and my future and strong, and I would be thinking seriously that I at least have to get someone in the interior to give me the ability to keep playing strong.
See if the kid can do it.
Yeah.
I think it is important to mention Trevor as well. I know you brought that up, Brian, because some of these also, even if then you do have your blocks, in Trevor's head, you didn't get it the last 3 times, so then your feet start moving a little bit, and it's not only doing that so that your quarterback trusts you as well.
John, this is the first elite quarterback that I have covered, or guy that I think can be elite. You covered Peyton Manning. I wouldn't do anything without getting him involved in this.
Right.
Yeah. You have to. Now,
some of it too, in fairness to the offensive line, Trevor can still develop in terms of when he gets rid of the ball. And there were plays the other day where offensive line did get them blocked. It wasn't every play that there was huge pressure. There were some plays there that could have been made when they did get them blocked. In order to take that next level, you're going to get pressure at times in a game for your quarterback. you have to take advantage of the moments where you have time. If your offensive line's struggling and they give you 5 plays or 10 plays or 15, you need to take advantage of a bigger percentage of those opportunities than the quarterback did the other day.
Agreed. All right, let's look to the defensive side of the football. Obviously, the defense played well enough to win, but the Cleveland Browns were able to kind of control time of possession, have those long drives, couldn't get a stop sometimes when you needed it from the defense. The way Ryan Nielsen runs his defense, he has subs going on at all times. So some of your best players aren't playing more than 3/4 of the snaps, which is unusual for certain positions. So for me, I don't think Nielsen's going to change his entire philosophy, but maybe if it's a set where, hey, we need this stop right here at this point in the game, do you kind of say, okay, you don't get your turn right now, I need Josh Allen and Trayvon in this game no matter what, or do you keep to your rotation?
I feel like they've been, and you may be seeing it differently, I feel like for the most part, on big plays, third downs, it feels like it's usually Armstead, Allen, and Trayvon on the field, I think. Now, I'm not saying this every time. When I have watched those moments for what you're talking about, Kai, I think they're trying to play those 3 guys on the winning plays.
The money plays.
Yeah, and there's many winning plays. But the unusual part necessarily to me isn't that they're rotating the defensive line the way they are. The linebackers is a little unusual the way they're doing it, but I kind of get it because right now you're early in the season, and I haven't necessarily noticed a big drop-off when they've been playing Ventrell Miller and Chad Muma. So I don't know that I would change that. What I do find interesting is they're so rotating, or they're doing it so much. Teams, if they get effective, they may try to keep them on the field with some no huddle or some shady huddle or whatever you call it, when you kind of keep the offense on there and not allow them to substitute. One of the teams last night or in Monday's game was doing that. Maybe that could be an issue going forward for the Jags if you have trouble substituting against a no huddle.
Agree with that. Doug and Trent both talked about having young guys develop because you'll need them later in the season. Ventrell Miller was not on the field at all last year because of the torn Achilles tendon. They like him. They want him to get experience so that he, in November and December, can not only keep Foye fresh, but in case Foye is banged up, as linebackers generally tend to get banged up. I think we saw Trey Prince on the field the other day. He came in, he made 2 or 3 plays. He flashed. Great. He's getting some experience in case Montaric Brown, who's, about 190 pounds, has 11 tackles next week and is sore and maybe hurt. That's Ryan Nielsen and Doug and Trent Baalke working together to make sure that these guys are being developed. You got to develop these guys. I don't see them changing their philosophy. I do think you'll see them tweak it. In week 1, they had a very specific plan when Eric Armstead was going to be on the field. They were trying to work him back into it. I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't change the next couple of weeks as we get into big situations against quarterbacks like Josh Allen, who's a really big guy, and you don't see that tweak adjust.
Another quick one for you guys, just because something I was thinking about as well. Mason Smith, are we going to see him active again? I don't know if we have any further insight into that, but I'd like to see some more of him, especially with as much as they rotate. It feels like if you dress, you get to play.
Well, it sounds like he's got to earn it. I mean, he did not play in week 2. There were some issues in week 1 that they didn't like from that spot. I thought he made some. I think to answer your question, yes, we're going to see him again because he did some good things in week 1. I saw him make a couple of disruptive plays that you want on the field. You also want to make sure that young players understand it has to be earned.
Same thing that I just said. You got to develop this kid. He was unblockable at times during training camp. He is somebody whom you are expecting to step in and replace Eric Armstead or replace Devon Hamilton to be that guy for the future. And the only way he's going to be ready to help you, second-round pick, is if he's on the field this year. Got to earn it. Got to earn your time. They're going to give him every bit of time. I guarantee you that the general manager will be banging his fist on the table. You got to get 94 on the field if you expect him to develop and help us later in the year.
Very well. Stay with us here on Jags A.M. Coming up after the break, we'll go over what's going on the rest of the week before Monday Night Football.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Surf Pro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. Surf Pro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
Calling all loyal Jags fans and loyal Gate customers, football is back. And you and 3 friends could win a chance to meet Trevor Lawrence. Entering is easy. Just buy any 5 28-ounce Gatorade or Gatorade Zero products at Gate with your MyGate Rewards app, and you'll be automatically entered. Not a MyGate Rewards member? Download the app and sign up today. See store for details. Alternate entry available at GatoradePromos.com/TLaw.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields, and we have some great news. Fields has the vehicle you want, in stock, priced right, and ready for delivery.
Fields Auto Group is Jacksonville's luxury automotive destination for Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Inventory is back and available for immediate delivery.
And every Fields customer can take advantage of our Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes. You deserve the best.
Stop by today or go to fieldsauto.com.
Chelsea here. Tired of those drafty windows and high energy bills? It's time to upgrade with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, during our exclusive sale, you can save big on custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors designed to keep your home comfortable and secure all year round. Our Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, providing superior durability and impact resistance. Plus, with flexible financing options available, there's never been a better time to make a switch. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a ZipChair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Jags fans, if you want customized Jaguars furniture for your home, check out ZipChair.com to browse all the customizable options. ZipChair is furniture for fans. A little bit of a different week for us this week because obviously we're going to be heading to Buffalo for Monday Night Football, so things got pushed back a little bit this week. But as you get geared up, what are you kind of focusing on? Who are you talking to? What's the plans for the week, guys?
I talked to Brenton Strange yesterday in the locker room. You don't know. They're optimistic that Evan won't go the way of Tyson and be an IR guy with the hamstring. But I thought Strange was a great example of a young player who was point blank asked, hey, you got to be the guy. And he was. He was the guy. He played really well from what I'm told. And he is excited about more opportunities to make plays.
Yeah, he was sort of the classic guy last year who probably should have been on the field more with more opportunity. I never heard anything within the building that they didn't like him.
Yeah.
He just wasn't playing. So not surprised that he's doing what he's doing, and he feels like a guy who might matter a lot. I'm going to have Brian Thomas Jr. on the Ozone podcast, which should run Friday-ish. Okay. And I'm looking forward to it. I feel like this kid is one of the 3 or 4 guys who are going to be the future of the franchise for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
That's going to be a good one. I'll definitely listen in. Stay with us here. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll do a little bit of a deep dive what it's going to be like taking on the Bills on Monday Night Football.